And I hope you can bear for 10 more minutes of us talking about alumni. And I think Lotte said 2 hours ago, coming after a micro was difficult. I think coming last is in a way challenging and a blessing, because I can actually just second what most of the speakers have said. And if your speeches were tweets, I would just retweet them with the comments and just endorse everything you said about moral compass and about acting, with your values. There's nothing more I would actually add to what you said. I want to very warmly welcome the newly alumni in our alumni community, which I believe is a very vibrant community. Manfred said it feels good to be in our community. I think some of you have already had a pre-test of being in the community, either in your second semester or being in touch with us. I hope it gets confirmed in the future. And I see some familiar faces already. But I guess the best way to illustrate how vibrant our community is to tell you just a few words about the nominees that we had for this very first Alumni Award. So we decided, this is the first year we're doing it, and hopefully we'll do it every year. We're quite a big community now. We're like more than 1,500 alumni. And we realize, by meeting them by chance in different places, professionally and personally, how amazing they are and the work they're doing. And most of the time, what they're doing is very close to home. It's not in very high position. Maybe they're not in the light of worldwide stages, but I think they make us proud. And I think actually many of you make us already very proud. I know the work of some of you who just graduated and are already amazing activists. And actually some of you could already get a prize and an award already today. So the nominees were, so you could be, just to explain, you could be nominated by other alumni, and then there was a panel, and Manfred is here to represent the panel, and they selected the winner. So Ewout Platt, who is actually from my year, he graduated as well 20 years ago. And Ewout has been supported grassroots movement and has been involved in the development of the Convention of all persons from prevention of all persons from enforced disappearance. Ram Bhandari from Nepal, who is actually currently writing his PhD in Lisbon. So he's an activist who started fighting for the rights of the families of disappeared after his father was disappeared many years ago. He was himself in prison, and he's really one of our most inspired alumni. Luisa Fernanda Torreda, she graduated actually last year, and she's already nominated. And she works as a lawyer in the peace process in Colombia. Marcus Olsen focused on art and interface dialogue to promote human rights. And finally, I just want to highlight two special alumni for which we actually made 2 animation videos. One is already online, and one is going to be very soon online, and we're quite proud of our videos and of the work they're doing. One concerns Marta Ramos. Marta Ramos is the director of ILGA Portugal and has been really key in fighting for LGBTI rights in Portugal. She contributed to make the law adopted for the right of gay people to adopt, and many other things. And finally, one which always makes me very emotional is Marta Trinado. Marta Trinado wrote a master thesis on stolen babies in Spain and Ireland. And her story is quite fascinating. Somebody wrote a master thesis in the States and got in touch with her and asked her if she could support him to find his family. And he actually found his family thanks to her. So for me, if this is not impact, this is not the way, this is what we expect from all of you. Not to have, it's not about making a big impact. It's really living to your values and making a difference close to home, and in very tiny ways maybe, but over the long run, you will realize that you've made a big impact. So finally, we'll come to the person who was chosen by the panel, Mylène Kidane, who by chance graduated the same year as me, and I was not in the panel. I think a lot of the things which were said today by other speakers would apply to Mylène. I think she's been brave and principles, as Lotte said. She showed persistence. She dedicated the past 20 years of her life to realize children's rights. I think she showed modesty, patience, perseverance, hard work, probably sometimes too much. And she worked for UNICEF in many different locations: Eritrea, Afghanistan, Trinidad, Kenya, DRC, Uganda, and currently Nigeria. And Nigeria is a continent, so I think we hear maybe a little bit more about your work, as you can probably confirm. She contributed, I just want to highlight one contribution from her. She contributed to the improvement of data collection on birth registration throughout the African continent, which I think is a major gap and a major need. I do believe that people like her make a difference with their dedication. They never look for the light of worldwide stages, and maybe they should get it, and focus on the needs and the rights of others. And I asked the two board members who were part of the panel to explain why they chose you. And I think, and they two Italian, sorry for the Italian colleagues, and they wrote the shortest email I ever received from them to explain their choice. They said, "She embodies the true spirit of the EMA community." So, Mylène, I think I'll turn it over to Manfred.
Mylène, I'm very honored to be able to hand over this collective memory by Koen van Mechelen on the book, The Collective Memory of Human Rights, that is growing all the time, to A Child of Hope. And thank you so much for all the work that you have done, in particular for the rights of children. And I was impressed of being together with you in the panel organized by the Global Campus Alumni Association. I wish you much success in the future.
Thank you very much, Professor Novak. Dear friends, I know we've had a long afternoon, evening, and it's getting a bit warm here. I am actually overwhelmed with senses. It's beautiful, the music is gorgeous, the sound, the place. I am delighted and deeply honored to be here with you today. I am accepting this award with great humility on behalf of all the children I have yet to serve. What a remarkable era to be a human rights champion. What an incredible time to commemorate 30 years of the Convention on the Rights of the Child, where the act of a single child, Greta, can spark a massive global movement to end climate change and shame adults, leaders into taking concrete action. Where a group of students can ignite nationwide walkout of schools in America and march in peaceful protest against gun violence. 30 years on, and it is the children who are teaching us what it means to be fearless in our convictions, unrelenting in our pursuit for justice, tireless in our fight for basic freedom, and the realization of every single right for every single child. We've come a long way, but the 30th anniversary is also a reminder that children are facing new sets of challenges, and that despite all the good, that there's still much more that we need to do. I must confess, when I first arrived here, I had no idea I was going to spend the next 20 years working with UNICEF. But in fact, I just felt like I graduated with a lot of knowledge and a desire to do something meaningful with my life. I wanted to do good, and I'm forever grateful for the program for giving me the tools to do this. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working in a number of different countries. Unfortunately, ultimately, my journey has led me to this great big nation of Nigeria, where for the past 2 years, I've been working with many wonderful and inspiring young people, old people, every people in between. Every day, we're fighting the good fight, and along the way, I've learned something. No matter where I've worked, I have learned that children are disproportionately affected by the failings of us as adults. I've also learned that the same children will tell you what they need if you only take the time to listen. We're not listening enough. In closing, I want to borrow from a young lady. She's actually my niece, Salam, who just recently graduated. She's a child herself, but she quoted Confucius, and she said, "Learning without reflection is a waste." So as the summer days grow colder, and we sit here inside these majestic halls, and you're about to embark on your own journeys, let us reflect on this past year. And as we do, reflect not only on the lessons you have learned, the countless books and papers that you have read, and the many lectures you have attended, but also on the times that you've been kind. Reflect on every interaction you've had with yourself and ask yourself this question: did I leave this person better than I found them? Did I treat them in the way that I would want someone to treat me? And if the answer is yes, continue with this kindness because you're on the road to excellence. If the answer is no, go forward with a renewed commitment to leaving positivity where you step. If your goal is great, work hard in school, in every other aspect of your life. But if your goal is to be excellent, promise you, be kind. Kindness will get you there. Be passionately kind. Congratulations to all the graduates. Welcome to the EMA family. Past, present, future, the ones who are coming in, welcome as well. Human rights are realized with every single one of us when we do what we do best. To our professors, our mentors, our friends and our families, sincere appreciation. We are here because of you. You cheer us up, you lift us up, you're by our sides when we burn the midnight oil trying to cram for one more test, one more paper. You teach us and you nurture us. You inspire us to do good and be good. To you, we all owe the gift of continued learning and passing on the learnings with reflection. Thank you very much.